But any Vikings fan that knows who this guy is, that's basically the Wyoming's receiving performance last week up in the Smurf turf. 28 yards. That was their leading receiver. All right. After an extremely disappointing loss up on the Smurf turf, Wyoming, CSU, Border War, Mike, preview the matchup.
Yeah, you can see my excitement here right now, Dirk. It's been deflated. I was so fired up that Wyoming was going to finally win the Mountain West Conference. I thought it was going to happen this year. I thought they were going to go and beat Air Force. And even though they lost that game, it was tight, and there is an okay chance that Air Force goes undefeated this year. Like, okay, Air Force is really good. I thought they were going to do better than they did against Boise State, and that was just deflating. But there is one way to get some enthusiasm back into football season, and that is by beating CSU.
Mike, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
I am wearing anybody that, there's a lot of Vikings fans in Wyoming, but any Vikings fan that knows who this guy is, that's basically the Wyoming's receiving performance last week up in the Smurf turf. 28 yards. That was their leading receiver.
Yeah, you got the wrong jersey. You should get the Vikings Patrick Chukwuemeka jersey. You remember him? That's a great Wyoming Cowboy.
And not to throw Wyoming under the bus, because I love my Pokes, but Andrew Peasy is looking more like Gus Frerotte than he is John Elway.
Well, Gus Frerotte could throw a football through a brick wall. He just couldn't, hit the target.
No, I'm talking Gus Frerotte in his later years when he was 40 plus, starting for the Tavares Jackson / Gus Frerotte years. I'm also talking about like Jamie Boyer style throwing is basically what Peasley's looking like lately. I mean, what was his stats? He had less than 100 yards passing. 50% completion? Does that sound about right? I couldn't watch the stat line anymore after halftime.
He was not the Peas knees, let's put it that way. Yeah, Dirk, I'll be honest, like having watched this from week one, I mean, Peasley, to his credit, was gutsy. He hung in there against Texas Tech. He made a few big throws late. But I want to say in like the fourth quarter of that game, he had like 70 passing yards or something like that. So this isn't really a new phenomenon, Like this
also,
is,
Mike,
yeah.
It's not a new phenomenon for Wyoming to basically really be poor on third down conversions. 1 of 11. 1 of 11.
Yeah, you're not going to win many games doing that, unless you have like the 2015 Broncos defense. And this has been a good defense for much of the year, but it's starting to wear out a little bit. I don't know, Dirk. I'll be honest with you. I've only peripherally know some of CSU. I mean, I've seen their 2 most high-profile moments this year, and they were very high-profile. You had the insane CU game, and you had the Hail Mary victory over Boise State. Now, beyond that, I don't think CSU is a particularly good team. I think they're a below-average Mountain West Conference team, and should Wyoming win this game? Absolutely. Will they? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mike. I'm actually going to take Colorado State in this game, although Poke fan, I'd love to see Wyoming win. They're only favored by 7. The over-under is like 41, I think, the last I looked. This is probably not the most exciting matchup. And also, these border war games are always played really close. Just looking through Colorado's record, some of the better teams they've played is Washington State, who really isn't the ranked team that everybody thought they were at the beginning of the year. Colorado, who again is looking like a dreadful Pac-12 team, maybe getting to 5 wins at this point. And then, their wins come from Middle Tennessee, Utah Tech, I believe. And then, a loss to Utah State doesn't help them either. And a loss to UNLV does not help them either. This is closer than I think many people are giving it credit for. I do think Colorado takes this one, and the trophy stays in Colorado.
Would you call it the border war? I'm gonna pick Wyoming in this, Dirk. As bad as the last couple weeks have been, Craig Bowl kind of owns Colorado State.